Let's welcome our host Sir Alberto Abira aka Hada Bird.
Okay, good evening, good morning, and good afternoon. I'm sorry for that interruption, but the connection has is little bit loose, and now we're okay and back. So we start the program with recognizing my avid viewers and supporters that uh, every time I have this talk show, they are there and ready and willing to support this ridiculous show, but it has to go on. Otherwise, it could be useful to other persons who are in need of information, especially from our community that is not being publicized and not is being known, and some are secretive, but we were able to dig it out for to disseminate to the public that is in need of this particular information. I would like to acknowledge everybody, and especially to the list I have here, the avid listeners and supporters, and televiewers, of course, Jilo, Lutz James, and Win Gwyn Tempos, and of course, Trisan, and La Esperanza Verentres, and Tanyo. Okay, that's appear on the list, but I have also received acknowledgement from Tagjer EDR from Caloocan, and some from Iloilo, and of course from United States, where they are also an avid listeners and televiewers. So here we are. And on my email, I received a press release from Marvin Rotran that informing his constituents about the Declaration of Human Rights. Human rights is the basic toll of every member of humanity after the declaration, the formation of United Nations General Assembly, because the first 10 presidents was very important, because the United Nations is in its formative status. Immediately was formed after the Second World War, so that's why it is very important that the Declaration of Human Rights will not be abused again through the cause of war. So the Declaration of Human Rights was made in 1948, and a year after that, actually the United Nations first, and then the Human Rights, or Declaration of Human Rights. And then the formation of the United Nations to sidetrack the human abuses, or the power nations to just to invade or declare war to itself. So the United Nations has to limit and has to generalize the obligation of every country that involved. It has you have to be a member in order to voice out, so the peace will be maintained in the world. So that's it. So, but it's to note that the first president of the United Nations was a Bulgarian by the name of Paul Henry Spack. And 3 years after, because the term of the president of the United Nations is 1 year, and 3 years after that, a Filipino president was elected by the name of Carlos Piña Romulo. So we were proud that we are the first member, the founding nations of the formation of the United Nations General Assembly. and which is in fact getting stronger and has the voice of every peacemaker in the worldwide to maintain harmony in this universe Earth. So that is a food for thought, and of course, knowing partially of what's happening, and we have to go back to reality. We have to go back to our own community, and respective of any organization, but we have to be united and we have to cooperate each other, whatever the circumstances, what because any activities, any achievement will be shared and will be supported. Because sharing alone without the support, because you have nothing to share if there's nothing on your copper to to share. So support first, so we have something to share. So of course, first of all, no material thing to share. Our ideas is very good. Number one thing that we can support. Of course, I have to acknowledge again some. Where are these? StreamYard, Gina Saito, Jin Chang. Okay, welcome everybody. Of course, Traisan is an avid organizer of this talk show. So without him, this will not exist. So thanks, boys, for having this opportunity for to express our what and what not. But this show has to go on for sharing informative and disseminate whatever it's needed for the community's expansion or distractions. So everybody has to be prepared all the time that in any eventualities, we will know. We cannot just say, I don't know. Likewise, saying I don't know, no, as the member of an organization, you should know what's going on. Because likewise, if you are, especially the officers, if somebody would ask you what's happening in your organization and you would say, I don't know, and you are an officer, what do you think this person would think of you? So, as an officer, you have to know. Likewise, when I say that the heritage, I could say only about the heritage because I am a avid member also of that. When I say that we have a fruitful meeting, somebody asked me why it's fruitful. Because the success of a meeting, that means the message was received thoroughly and understood by everybody. The explanation was cleared and apprehended by all the listeners present to that meeting. So that's why it is a success. But you are an officer, and you would say that when somebody asks you what's happening there, if you say I don't know, so better think twice becoming an officer. So because if you don't know the success of a conference or a meeting could be a success again if the message was clear and the members of that assembly is attentive and listen and know what's happening, and they have a question if it's not clear and it is being wisely explain and relay the message thoroughly, so the meeting will be a success. Because if no transparency, so the meeting is not a success because you were there present, but you didn't get what's happening, and because you don't get the right answer if you ask questions. So as an officer, be always know what's going on. Maybe to your needs, but what about your constituents? So share, this is important. That's what we call the very term that everybody is asking, transparency. But you have to be clear, everything has to be known. So, or if you have activities and if you have an announcement, but it just limited to few, that is not an announcement. That is not for the membership at large, but for you officers only. So what's the use for officers only? Because you are not there. You are just serving the membership. So that is a nonsense story, but this is just to cover up the space. Okay. The minutes that we are praising here, especially this modern situation, as they call it, new normal, we have to enjoy it because considering in the first world pandemic that did have nothing, they didn't have what we have. Our we could be isolated, we could be in custody, and we are being uh, controlled our movement because of this social distancing. But that's nothing in comparison to our older generation that they have nothing, but they have to suffer because of this pandemic. So, how many millions were died on that? But now, okay, you'll be isolated in your room. So what? In your room, you have your TV, you have all the communication. You could visit all parts of the world. You could watch anything you want. We have to be thankful. That's very thing. And of course, we have limited movement, but use your imagination, and you have to be careful because you have to take care of yourself in order so you could also take care of your loved ones. And I would ask this avid listeners and televiewers that why don't you share? Because for me, I'm running out of nonsense or sweet nothings, but I am waiting for your intelligence to drum up and spare and share it to everybody. Okay. So, how about this La Esperanza 23? Magandang gabi po, Tata Bert. Kamusta ang pamilya mo sa Pilipinas? May malakas na lindol sa Indonesia nangyari kanina. Of course, because this earthquake is already a season or it is a natural occurrences anymore. Before it was just a tremendous punishment from the Lord or because this is a man-made destruction to the earth. Why some old people would say, and in our days there was never, maybe there was a happening of earthquake, but very seldom, maybe 5 years or 10 years only that happened. But now it's just a common occurrences already because of this so much destruction that man made to this earth. The atomic testing, the game war, the pollutions, the warming of the earth, and the illegal loggings. These are parts only of the destructions. If there is peace on earth, people are not happy because they want excitement. They want adventure, like everybody, almost everybody, but especially to the rich people who has everything, but they are not happy. They are bored, so they have to do something spectacular or something daring activities like mountain climbing. Or how many people died in the Mount of Everest? But people has to go there. They have seen already. They have known already what's on top of Everest. But everybody, every year there's a lot of uh, climbers to that peak of the mountain. The answer, because it's there. Mountain climbing, dangerous like even the wall climbing, even the building climbing, they have to do it. So it is against the law, but it's there. So somebody has to make adventure, because people need publicity. They needed attention, like everybody else, because attention for an individual, but in psychology, that's politics, because you need that attention, so you have that is how to get attention is to do something different. So because what their entertainers are doing, they could only be popular because they have something different from what an ordinary people are doing. So so an individual has to create something for him to get notice, has to get something extraordinary action or activities in order to be noticed and be recognized. So that's how adventurous people are, no matter how dangerous it is. Likewise, in business transaction, they know already that weapons, guns, is made to kill. Not for display, not for glamour. It is the intention is to kill. Why carry the gun for what? For display? No. That's what Duterte said. That when police shoot people from bad people, because he has gun. Because that's what gun is for. So bad or good or whatever, but that's the purpose of any. Likewise, poison is maybe poison sometimes could be used for medication, but that poison is to kill also. So unlike medication, unlike medicine, the doctor would prescribe you medication for relief. Lucky if you get cured, but the intention is just for a relief so that you will be kept going again and again for that medication. Otherwise, if you got medication and you get cured, what's the next? So that's the end of pharmacy. So that is business. Whatever action in this earth is always business. It will boil down to that very end. So that is part of this talk nonsense, but I know you will be amused of that small information, and maybe just to fill in the space. There's nothing serious in this because this is just a talk show. Just like if you were born in the early 70s and early 50s and 60s, I could remember still if the people who are at my age will remember Rafael Yabot, who took so much, he would dare anybody, but just like this example word. Hindi ko kayo minumura, maputanginan nyo, pero putangin nyo talaga, mga loko kayo, mga magnanakaw kayo, something like that. Pero hindi ko kayo minumura. So, because this is just a talk show, that means you are talking nonsense and anything that is to laugh and anything to get your attention, any persons will do it. So likewise, but nowadays you have to be very careful because it was just before, it was just a slander. Now everything could be a libel because the difference is slander with just a spoken word, but even now, even a spoken word could be a libel because it could be written. You have tangible evidence, whatever you do now. So anything that you have tangible to present to the court libel, not slander anymore. So likewise, but we have to go to that extent, like the any organization. This is it's very embarrassing. Filipinos, the Filipinos has to go to court just to settle an argument. That's too much. We Filipinos has to understand each other. Of course, sometimes we are hated arguments, but tomorrow we'll be seeing each other again. So why patch and say, "Hey, how are you?" So that's the tip of the tongue. So I hope somebody will be get bored of my uh, stammering statement, but I welcome you. Likewise, uh, all other activities. Now for the PAMAS is always the favorite subject here because uh, last January, well, when was that? Yeah, the early part of this January that we received this court decision of this that the result of the election of the incoming executive board. Uh, so the new elected officers was so excited that they will be incoming set of officers of PAMAS. So they requested me to uh, get the key from the outgoing president, and then so I do as requested. But after that, I was expecting something will be going on. But so far, maybe I don't know. Maybe there is something going on because on my part, I was very much willing to participate if they needed my help. But maybe they don't need my help anymore. So I thank God that I could rest and enjoy my TV show, the comfort of my room, and maybe that's one we have to avoid the uh, infection of this COVID-19. So I'm relaxed here and be healthy and keep myself mouth full of the time and drinking coffee and milk. So that's life. When in fact, I don't have to grocery so much because I'm getting some food stuff from the Jewish community, not from the Filipino community because maybe I'm not qualified under organization. So thank God that the Jewish community is counting me in. So every Thursday I receive this hot meal and some canned goods, whatever they could share, and some, of course, some bread and fruits, because they know what's needed. Because these are just donations from the groceries and supermarkets. Because maybe because some of them are overstocked, so they might as well share it to the seniors like me, and who are staying the senior house, and also the needed persons who are the low income the low income seniors like me who are living here miserably sometimes, but lonely, but I have always God with me to talk to. Thank you. Somebody is flashing. Is that Jello? Okay. Mm-mm. Malo Bailey, welcome. And Akol Bibang. Bibang, Akol Bibang. Akasi Bibang. Welcome. I'm glad that you have the energy to listen to me and without even saying a word. But of course, more than a word because you have written a long paragraph sometimes, but I cannot read it aloud, and sometimes I miss I ran over it. I'm sorry for that because I'm not so attentive and reading those messages. But anyway, I'm printing this and I have my compilation and in a busy world and after in the morning especially I go over again these messages. I'm thanking you everybody because I am reading in my heart that though the show is boring, but you are there to support. Thank you. So I am waiting again for Jonathan to have this break because maybe you have some people you are in mind also to show off and have to disseminate any information or any announcement or any advices. Everything for Jilo. Goodbye. Good eve, Tata Bert. That's a colloquial, huh? Good eve. Gina Saito Sin Changcho Konbanwa. Mga kapatid, Konbanwa, mga kapatid. Okay, that's another colloquial word, but somebody could explain it to me later. The activities, the changing world is going fast. It's 2021 and the 2020 have given us a good, memorable, and lasting and interesting and of course the very basic destruction, especially in the Philippines, that not only the COVID they suffer, but flooding and typhoon. COVID maybe because not so much affected in the Philippines because comparison to the casualty, not even 1% because a population of 100 million because natural death for 100 million, maybe 200,000 a year. But we don't have that. Even the discovered calamity because we are formidable human being because we are built for that because and the torrid zone like Philippines, very hot and lots of fresh food because lucky for us, all our food mostly are not refrigerated and food are always freshly harvested from the field and direct to our table. But anything that is already freeze or contaminated, it's always destructive because why contamination? The preservatives are contaminations. The any spices are contamination. But food in the Philippines is freshly cooked, cut and cooked. Like the primitive ones, because cut and cooked, there is nothing adulteration on it. So that is why our body is always strong and ready to undergo this natural disaster or calamities that may happen time and again. So we will be thankful that we are Filipinos, that we are always strong. Like, we cannot count our money because that's not ours. We could only appreciate what we have, the meager income that we receive, but we are happy because we cannot be counting that is not coming to us. We could only count our blessings and we will be always thanking everybody now and then and we will be going back to the field that we have to till morning to the evening and going home happy and healthy, embracing our kids and families as usual. Merry makings will be going after meal in the evening. And life has to go on, routine but contented and no worries. Because we will not be worrying that when depression will come, that we will be losing our millions. Believe me, we will not lose your millions because you have no millions. So that makes you comfortable and peace of mind in your heart that there's nothing to worry and nobody will going to hold up you because the hold up will be disappointed. Just likewise, when somebody asks me, Yori Balikbayan, are you not afraid? Afraid of what? Maybe the hold upper might be the one who will be afraid because when they hold up me, I might turn around and roll up him instead of me because you have nothing to hold up me. So everywhere I go, I'm peaceful, I'm happy. So that's why simple man is the happiest man in this world because those who have started getting something under course, they were getting worried now and then. If stock will go down, what will happen to my investments? So that is a big worry. Imagine I have put millions in that investment, and then because the depression comes in and I lose everything. You see, when you lose the hard-earned money, it's really hard. But those who have millions, actually, most of them it's not a hard-earned money. Mostly are inherited or through business because when the business is progressing, so easy money. Oh, it all depends what kind of business also. So, but everything has its own way and means to how to make a living. So we cannot envy anybody because the world is open. Everybody has an opportunity to do what he has to do because if you could think of, that's what is saying, say, if you could conceive, you can achieve. That's the word. Because you cannot just be thinking, I wish, I wish. You cannot. Wishing alone will, will not come to reality. You have to work for your wish. That is the basic argument and how to make your wish a reality. You have to work hard for it. So, likewise, if you don't work hard for, and then you'll be complaining, no, sir. That's what it is. Help yourself, and God will help you. Because it's unfair for other people who is working hard and they achieve, and you will just be waiting why only them who have received. No, sir. So that's his life. Okay, so that is my sweet nothing words for tonight. But I have to go on another 30 minutes. So go. Oh, so
Hello, Tata Bert.
okay. So I would like the producer to have a break, and I have just something to insert because in any show there is always a break. There is always some advertisement. There is always some announcement by the producers.
So, Tata Bert.
Yeah.
Hello. So, wala nang tumawag sa'yo?
You are not on the mic.
Wala nang tumawag sa'yo? Tata Bert?
Oh yeah. This morning, one of my grandson acknowledged as the parents that sometimes he doesn't understand what I'm saying. Even she is a teacher. Because the subjects has no point and repetitious and coherent and no direction. I said, thank you, because that's what I am. Because This is just a show, is to fill in that waiting for somebody who has a very important announcement or something that he has to share with the community. This is the idea of the show. It's not for me to fill in, to dictate, or to advise or give education to the people. Because before you could educate other people, you have to be educated. But I'm not. So that is the reason that my show is redundant and no subject. Unless something's new come up, I will be very coherent, and I have just what they say. When I was a guest speaker, I think I have been a guest speaker for several organizations here. I've been a guest speaker in the Federation before under the store. I have been a guest speaker for the seafarers for 3 or 4 times or maybe more. I've been for the caregivers. I've been a guest speaker in Kalihokang, Bisaya. I have spoken in the Kahirop. Even in the what other organization, especially to the seniors, also several times in the UPS and the helping people, also in the dynamic by the and the friendly organization, except on the West Island in South Shore. But I was also a guest. I was spoke also to the Knights of Columbus held in the church there, and
Tata Bert. Hello.
so. But that's not the idea, because that's relevant to this being a host here in this show. But when I speak when I was a president, for the first time they said that a president's giving his inaugural address was it's not reading a their speeches, because if you write your speech, why you have to read? Because you already wrote it, so it's already there. So because you could not always put an ad lib and some humor in some colloquials. So the veracity in the statement that always delivered is well apprehended and comprehended by the audience, the recipients of your vocal cord. So that's how it is. So why read? Okay, so I think Jonathan doesn't want to hear it, so he put it down. Okay, that's good.
Hello, Tata Bert.
Oh, just a second. I'll have to go get a drink. I'm thirsty. Straw. How long this show has to go on? You
Narinig
have
mo
to
na ako?
you have to look for some replacement already.
Bakit?
Because
Pagod ka na?
yes, maybe once a week, but not every night. I was too tired because I miss my TV show. That's okay. Yeah. So until you get some new fresh young who will take over, I will be happy to turn over. Okay. Ako si Bibang. Did I read it already? Gina Salto. Ako, the same person. So,
So, Tata Bert,
Yes.
wala nang tumawag sa'yo mula sa community center?
Community center, I think I delivered what they want, so why they still need me? Because I think it will be better for them if they'll not ask me to be with them, because I will be very vocal and I will be very strict and I will be still complying the requirement as of every administration, I'm really hurt that the building fund disappeared, and every administration have no contribution at all to the building fund. Just because there is already building, they don't have idea how to make the expansions because the community is there. All you have to do is ask, present your ideas, and everybody will be helping, because if you don't ask, who will help you? Because you don't have an idea, you don't have a project. Anything but this is the mentality of our community. If it is fully accomplished, you will get the bandwagon. Everybody is there. They will just want to be a rider. But no, why don't you put your finger also in building up just what Dr. Rizal said? You are just like a stone in the field who was never be part of an edifice. So you are there in the field, and the building is, and we are making a structure of the building, and you just stand by there. Why don't you be part of an edifice? So what they call the bricks by bricks, everything will be accomplished. That's what they say when we started this Philippine Community Center. Rome was not built overnight. So little by little, it will be accomplished if we are doing it sincerity and seriously, that we have that objective. We have that aim to build the building. So we could not just stop there, because the community is growing. We are expanding. The need is growing, and more and more that's needed our help. So
Tata Bert,
it's time, please, this candidates has to think twice.
pupunta ka pa ba sa community center pag nagbukas na uli?
Of course, they have the good excuse of this pandemic. So, because actually it's not allowed to have gatherings, but
Hindi, pag nagbukas na uli, pag
Yes.
nag-normal na,
yes.
pag nagkaroon na ng normal na takbo, pupunta ka pa rin?
Yes, when I feel like it.
Paano pag sinabi nila na hindi ka papasukin?
No. They will not do that to me. Because if you know your rights, kahit ano sabihin nila, paliwanag mo, you don't even have to be get mad, because that is their obligation. But if you explain your rights, and they will listen. There are also persons, we cannot just say no. It all depends on what kind of person is going there. That's why sometimes you are blocked, because unless you
Ayaw
are
nila
rude
malaman
and
mga ginagawa nila.
not give respect, courtesy to them, of course they will get mad. So it all depends on the way you approach the person.
Kung ayaw nilang makita at malaman mo kung anong ginagawa nila, kasi magsasalita ka.
Yes, so they have the rights to stop you, but don't. But if you know your rights to also that they cannot stop you, they will know that. Who knows how and who knows what.
Mhm.
Because just like any policeman, the policeman thinks that you are doing something wrong against the law, but they will not just put you handcuffed. They will ask you why, and then they will stop you what you are doing, and then if you explain good, and you have the right to do it. So so long as there is no distraction or harmful to not disturbing the human rights of other people, you will not be handcuffed for that. Because the lawmakers are there to impose the law. So you don't have to be surprised when you are apprehended, because you are suspect, but not immediately that you will be handcuffed, but you will be also asked why. So they will understand if you are not doing something illegal. So likewise, farmers, of course, maybe by your face alone or your by personality they don't like you. That is a product of democracy because they could always say, "I don't like your face," so they could always find an alibi that you don't like them. You're like you're very rude. You are what? So they could stop you. But of course, if you insist on your right, they will also listen.
Mhm. So, anong gusto mo, Tata Bert? Once a week na lang tayo? Pagod ka na ng gabi-gabi?
Yeah, maybe every Wednesday.
Wednesday, gusto mo?
Wednesday and Friday, that's good enough.
Maghahanap ka ng ng ma-interview mo, kakausap mo,
Yeah.
schedule mo sila.
Yeah. Because Filipino doesn't want to make it they make it legal because they don't want to make it formal because maybe if you go you talk to Tim Horton, maybe you'll get an audience, but a formal show like this because they don't want to be quoted because the attitude is Nino kasi you don't count him in. Nino, he's a good critic or a good bystander. But being extending a hand is quite different. Maybe some politician, yes.
So, Wednesday at saka Friday na lang tayo.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you could find somebody else.
Ay, iba naman yun sa kanila, iba naman yun sa iyo.
Of course,
Si Tata Bert, si Tata Bert. Kung yung iba dyan, iba din yun
of course,
sa kanila.
that's another name of the show. Of course.
Iba naman yun sa kanila.
No, of course. It's not my show.
Show mo.
Wala ako rin, bakit maging akin pa?
Batiin mo siya, si Joy29.
Okay, Joy29. This is the proposal that since I'm getting young and getting bored, I'm missing my TV show. And of course, because sooner or later this pandemic has to go, will be gone, is history. So we'll be back into the old normal, not new normal anymore, the old normal that we used to. And I have to enjoy the atmosphere of the seniors, of the camaraderie among friends, and the drinking spree once in a while, or whatever it is, because I love to commune and communicate and exchange ideas. And because most of the time, especially on weekend, during this every summer, either I will be an advisor, a speaker to whatever it is. So, though I'm not a good speaker, I have nothing to share, but they love my jokes and
okay. May tanong si La Esperanza. Sahin mo.
La Esperanza. Tata Bert, what is the oldest Filipino organization here in Montreal? Is FAMAS the oldest one? Yes, it is, because in early 74 or 72, as I asked the oldest brother before that he was here in 1972 when the Dicari was digging for that highway. He was already there, and because if you could remember, of course you don't remember because he died already a long time ago, Engineer Emilio Asistores. So he was here as an engineer, and he was not me working somewhat. I don't remember, but he witnessed the digging of that Dikari, and all this
Mhm.
earth that's being dug here was put to that Jendrapo, because they have no place to put the stones and earth that being dug here in the highway, so they put it there. Now it becomes the Jendrapo Island, where in 1970 the
Ano?
famous man in this world was formed, and the Expo 70 was organized, and that was the first time the Philippine flag was raised in this land of Canada, in Montreal. That the first flag was stand there, and the initiator of that is Pastor Orlan Racazzo, and he has the pictures and he has all the clippings that he has done. That and the second time the Philippine flag was raised and City Hall here in Montreal was in 1998, the 100th years anniversary of the Philippine independence. And when the inauguration of the bust of Dr. Jose Rizal. So that was a historic event, and we have published that, but it was not well acknowledged by the community because it was just me who was the initiator. Of course, the community joined everybody because, as you know, a bandwagon of Filipinos will be in your side when when a project is a success. So, so be a creator. Think of something. We need a big library. We need a building that to store unused or the displaced
Okay.
furnitures or utensils or old clothes for reserved for our newcomers Filipinos here in Montreal, because I remember when I was in Pamas that bunch of families could just come in and they don't have beddings, they don't have kitchenwares or any furnitures. So I have to
Mhm.
share my three calderos and some utensils just because it's temporary. Because give them a week. Filipinos are very initiative. They could always provide immediately
Say hello
the
sa
day
ano, sa
after.
bago mong bisita.
You know?
Say hello to Strawberry bago mong bisita.
Hello, strawberry sayong. Okay. This is black here, so could you move this up? Okay. Okay. Good evening, good morning po. Okay, where are you? Sayong from, so you good morning, that means you are in the Middle East, the eastern part of the globe. You could be in the Asian countries. Okay. So wherever you are, welcome to the show, and hopefully you're enjoying the sweet nothing words from me, and eventually, as a member of the community, the moment that we will be having a face-to-face gathering, we will welcome you to picnic and partying, because that is the best project of the Filipinos. Partying, dancing, and laughing. Any other than that, it's quite hard to organize, because any
Okay.
organization, the only activity, the first activities is, of course, uh, induction party. The second party will be Christmas party, and the second party may be anniversary. After that, The rest, all other organizations will do. But that is the basic requirements or the basic obligation of every organization. That is the only event that they could think of.
Alright.
Likewise, farmers is in need of funding, but it's only farmers that has to maintain the building. Okay, Jonathan, you have to do something?
Okay, so imbitahan mo sila kamo every Wednesday at saka Friday.
Okay, so every Wednesday and Friday, yeah, please join me because that is the 2 days now I could only accept. But if there is really a need, I could come in anytime. Just give me a word. 3 hours or 4 hours before, I'll be there. I could fill in anybody, but somebody I'm asking to fill in. So for me, there's nobody. But so I hope Jonathan will do the same thing to these people that I will be needing help, even though I will be Monday and Wednesday. But it could be livelier and merrier if they have to contribute also. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Magandang gabi, magandang umaga sa inyo lahat. Mabuhay kayo. See you again. I never say goodbye, but see you tomorrow. See you later, alligator.